Good morning. Bonjour. Comment ça va? Et toi? Ça va très bien. Ni hao. Hola. Buongiorno. Bienvenue. Wan Ying. Bienvenutos. Benvenuta. And welcome. Welcome to another exciting episode of Gem Hunter Stories. My name is Barry B. Mixon, and I am a gemological storyteller. And each and every week, I have the amazing opportunity to take you on a journey, the places you've never been before, to hear stories you've never heard before. Each week, I get a magnificent moment to take you on a mental, physical, and spiritual adventure into the art, science, history, and magic of gemstones, precious metals, and fine jewelry. And I'm going to stop there today. For those of you who watch my show consistently, thank you. I'm going to stop there today in my normal opening because what we're going to talk about today is the quintessential example of everything that I talk about on this stone, on this story, on this show. Gold. Barbara, bring up my screen, please. Gold is more than just something that we wear on our fingers, on our ears, on our neck. Gold is a spectacular gem metal. And one of the best ways when I named this show this week, Behold the Power of Gold, it actually came from a commercial, a story that I heard a long time ago. And you might have seen it. It's on YouTube, where it's this little girl, Christmas time. And you know how kids get up early in the morning to go down to see what Santa brought them. And the little girl goes down there and she runs back and she wakes up her parents, and her dad and mother is like, oh God, okay, let's just get up and just take care of the kids. And the little girl's maybe like 5 years old, 6 at most. And the father walks into the living room, and he goes from being sleepy to his eyes just open up. And when the camera pans the room, you see everything, literally everything, snowmobiles, jewelry, clothing, furs, everything. And the father just looks amazed and looks at his little girl and said, did you leave Santa the cookies I told you? She said, no, I didn't leave Santa cookies. I left him cheese. And the commercial, the voiceover guy says, behold the power of cheese. That's what gold feels like. That's what, when you understand what gold is so much more than just an element. And I didn't really begin to understand gold until much later in my life. I grew up with, my mother had some few nice pieces, but I didn't really understand what jewelry was. To me, jewelry was just like, I had a watch, I had a ring, but it was no big deal. It didn't reach me. I didn't understand jewelry, and I certainly didn't understand gold until my very first experience working in the jewelry industry. My business partner, Cosette Barrow, who I love dearly to this day for just introducing me to this world. She invited me, and I've told you this story before, but it needs to be said again. She invited me to this jewelry show that was happening in this prestigious law firm. We were going to be the vendors, and we had a jewelry, just a private show for us. And the woman who invited us worked at a law firm. She was very very refined, very elegant, and everything else, very just poised. And she looked, and I was impressed. She was, African-American woman. She was working in this prestigious law firm, and I was like, wow. And the thing that got me, about her. I'm sitting behind the table. She's walking up towards the table, and I had laid out all the pieces. And to me, at that time, they were just like, okay, this is nice. This is nice. I was just laying out the pieces, and Cosette taught me about aesthetics and the way things look. I was like, okay. It didn't really get me until the woman walks up to the table, and she said something that I will never forget. Not that she looked at the jewelry, her eyes got as wide as saucers, and she literally said, not that I like or that I want, but I need. She was like, ooh, I need this. Ooh, I need this. And I'm sitting there thinking, what is going on here? This woman is having like an orgasmic experience right then and there in front of me. And to be honest with you, as a man, I got jealous. I was just like, oh, like, what's going on? I have been around women my entire life, and I had never seen a woman react like that. That is the power of gold. To understand gold, as I say all the time, to understand the value of something, you have to first understand what it is. Gold, gold is an element. If you remember your 7th and 8th grade science, an element is something that cannot be broken into anything else. The symbol for gold is not AG, it's AU, aurorum, which means the dawn of light. And what got me to begin to understand the power of gold is when you think about it, there are 118 different elements in the known universe, 118. And you think about human nature, you think about people throughout the history of mankind, there is nothing that we agree upon globally. Nothing. The only thing we truly agree on from the beginning of time until now, 6,000, 7,000, 10,000 years, is gold. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what culture you're in. It doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter if you're black. It doesn't matter if you're white. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. The whole history of mankind revolves around gold. Gold comes from space. Gold comes from space. Gold is the beginning of the universe. And whether you believe in evolution or God creation, let's just take it the other way. When God created the universe, he put gold in it. Gold comes from outer space. Ladies and gentlemen, look at your jewelry. Understand that your gold that's in is billions of years old. When atoms started congealing together to make suns and planets, gold was a process that was created. All the heavy metals, platinum, silver, gold, comes from outer space, and it sunk into the earth as the earth was forming. But the thing about gold, and then let me go back, gold has periodic table. Gold has 79, atomic number of 79, which means that it has 79 protons. Let's go back to, again, junior high school science. Protons, electrons, neutrons. Remember that? Some of you guys are going, oh yeah, I remember that. Well, there's 79 protons that make up gold. That has an atomic weight of 196. Okay. Gold comes from outer space, but the thing that got me about understanding gold is that the ancient people didn't know that. The ancient people didn't understand the periodic table wasn't even invented. Here's gold right here, 79, right next to mercury, platinum. Here's silver up here. They're just atoms that are put together in a certain molecular fashion. So yes, gold today is used for technology and agriculture and health and of course, electronics. But the people, what got me about gold was the people didn't know that then. The Mayans, the Aztecs, they didn't understand what that is. So what got me about gold is that gold must speak to people on a whole nother level. There was no one that was a spokesperson for gold. There was no scientist. The top Inca scientist, Mr. Atahualpa, didn't sit there and give lectures about gold. The people of the Aztecs, the Indian, the Inca people understood gold. The people from Africa, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, they understood the power of gold from a spiritual level. They didn't know the periodic table. They didn't know about atoms. They didn't even understand how rare gold was. They didn't even understand where. They just knew that they had something special. They understood that they had something unique, that something that was rare. So that's where I started putting together the link between gold and people. Because gold is a story. Gold is a story that has really been told for thousands of years. The Japanese people, the Chinese people, the Australian people, the Indian people, the African people, the people from Europe, the people from Latin America. Just go through the map. There is no place on the planet that people do not understand the power of gold. Columbus didn't come to the New World just because he thought it was a great vacation spot. He came, and we'll do a couple of episodes about gold. He came to the New World, new to him, the New World, with this whole concept that he was going to get gold at. Oh, in fact, King Ferdinand told him, commanded him to get gold. Be nice if you can. Treat the people nice, but get gold at all costs. That's the power of gold. So I started thinking to myself, what if people started treating each other with that same concept? How come we understand gold so ubiquitously? The whole gold is a global phenomenon. Gold was one of the first things that people coveted in the Bible. 417 references to gold. Yeah. 417 references. So man understood what gold was. And no matter what the religion is, for the most part, gold is a part of it. So what if we took those same attributes that we look at gold and take it for ourselves? So I started thinking again from the very beginning. That jewelry show was in 2003. Now it's 2022. And the whole time I've been thinking about I've been working in gemology for 18 years. And the thing that gets me is, what are the attributes that make a material a gem? That's like the beginning of any gemology school. GIA, Gemological Institute of America, GEMA, Gemological Association of Great Britain, the International, Robert James, my mentor, Robert James, the International School of Gemology. They all have this same concept. What attributes make a material a gem? Beauty, rarity, durability, desirability, and value. How come those same attributes are not applied to us, to people? Think about it. Gold. This is what gold looks like. It doesn't look like that in the ground, but this is what gold sits in places in the world, banks, that this is what gold. Those of you who old enough to remember the gold standard, this is what gold looks like. Gold right now is trading at $1,700 an ounce. So what makes it rare? What makes it, what attributes can we attribute to ourselves in a relationship? So beauty, the first one, beauty. Gold is one of the most malleable, if not the most malleable metal. That means that gold you could take the gold in my ring and literally fill a room with it. That's how malleable it is. Gold can be created into any shape. Gold is beautiful to look at. The color to light of gold, how is that any different than the person that you love? That person, when you looked at that woman, when you looked at that man, and that man, remember the old Roberta Flack song that we talked about episodes again? When the first time ever I saw your face, I felt the sun rose in your eyes. That's gold. That's gold. The definition of gold is arum, the light. So that's what Roberta Flack in that song saw in that person walking into that cafe, as I always imagine her. And she felt the sun rose in her eyes, in his eyes, and the moon and the stars was the gift he gave to the dark. That's beauty. So if you have somebody in your life that you consider beautiful, guess what? You got gold. You have gold because that person follows one of the attributes of what a gemstone is. See, I don't want to sit here and talk to you like, well, this whole metaphysical swamp, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But the way I got into it was from a scientific point of view. The metaphysics, the understanding the metaphysics came much, much later. So as a scientist, I just okay, what is beauty? And how is that beauty? How is that beauty that I appreciate, that I saw? And in fact, 2007, I had already been married. So my wife, my ex-wife, that's who she was to me, just beautiful. That's gold. Everybody doesn't like gold, but some people, some cultures love gold. So beauty is one of those attributes. Now let's look at it. So gold, this is natural gold. Rarity. Let's just be real honest. The person, all of us are either, we've all been through relationships. I've been married, as I always tell you, 2.5 times. I'm 61 years old. I've been through relationships. So when you find the one, that's rarer than gold. Yeah, every year they mine tons and tons. They might have to mine this ring to get this much. This is almost an ounce. To get this much gold, you have to dig through 250 tons of the earth to get that much gold. But you know what's rarer? The person that loves you. The person who is your girl, your guy. That person sees you. That is a rare person. When you have somebody in your life who loves you, and those of you who have been through or currently going through a bad relationship or just got out of a relationship, you know how rare that is. You know how, and there's 7.8 billion people on the planet. 7.8. But there's only really 1 or 2 people in the world that work for you. Rarity. So if you're in a relationship, and when I say relationship, I'm not talking about just a romantic, I'm talking about even your friend, your ace, that person that you can call up 3 o'clock in the morning. That's rare. So there's that's your second attribute that defines that person in your life or you as rare. You got to understand how rare you are. Not just, some BS. Oh, you're the only one on the planet. You truly are the only one on the planet that's just like you. You're rare. And you have to understand that. You have to feel that. That's where the whole discover the value of your story. You got to understand who you are. There's only one like you, and there will never be another one just like you. Rarity. Gold. Fine gold. Durability. Man, please. Durability? Think about it. Think about, I have people who I know in my life who have friends who have been friends since high school. Been friends since they were little kids. That's durability. If you've been in a relationship for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, that's durability, because anybody that can deal with your crazy, beep-a-doo-beep, anybody that can deal with you over a length of time, that's durable. Gold lasts pretty much forever. The gold is inert, meaning it doesn't react to anything else, acids and things. It doesn't react. King Tut's gold, wherever King Tut's gold is right now, Cleopatra's gold, wherever her gold is right now, looks pretty much the same way it did when Cleopatra or King Tut or Napoleon or anybody else that you want to mention. That gold that's in your drawer that you haven't worn, that man, that woman bought you and symbolized, that's durability. So if you have durability in your relationship, that's attribute number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. Look at your husband, look at your wife, look at them and realize, and think about all the crazy stuff that you have done, all the things, the mistakes, that maybe your body don't look the way it looked when you first was together. Maybe, I used to have hair, things like that. You went through unemployment. You went through a pandemic. You went through a pandemic together. That's durability. That's your ace. When you have a relationship with somebody and you can watch a superhero movie and understand that, guess what? That person, Batman and Robin, the Lone Ranger and Tonto, and I'm not saying who one is the Lone Ranger and who's Tonto. You both switch sides, but durability is when that's your girl. That's the guy. That's what we were talking about last episode when Spock said, I have been and shall always be your friend. That's gold. Durability. No matter what, that person that you found, that's beautiful to you, that's rare. You met them at Jules, a supermarket. You met them at the Louvre. You met them on an airline. You met them, and when you saw them, they was like beautiful to you. They were rare. You knew how many people in relationships you've gone through, and you found it. And then not only did you find them beautiful, not only did you realize how rare they were, but they stuck with you all these years. They saw you through nursing school. They sat with you when you were learning how to be a teacher. You said, baby, I want to build a business. And that person said, all right, what do I got to do? That's durability. Yeah, gold lasts forever. But if you got a relationship that's been around for a long time, yeah, that's your goal. That's the magic. That's the attribute that should directly tell you that you have gold in your life. I don't care if you don't have no jewelry. If you got that person, and those of us who have been through divorce or been through bad relationships, man, we trade all the gold in the world for that person that you can count on when you're sick, when you don't have a job, when you're trying to figure out who the hell you are. And you might be 50 or 60 years old and still trying to figure out who you are. That's durability. Gold. Look at it. Look at it. It doesn't look like, oh my God, that's so sexy. No, And that's gold. That's gold that comes right out of the ground. That's what we honor. That's what we cherish. That's what we build idols and statues to. That's what we link to God. 417 entries in the Bible. And they talk about something that looks like that. So you already know that rarity is based on what you think it is, what you understand, what rarity is. Beauty is what you see. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That's what gold looks like. And you would never say, hey, you see how beautiful that looks? Look at the shape. That's gold. Look at the texture. Oh my God, it's so creamy smooth. No, it's not. That's what gold is. And you know that chunk of gold came from space. It endured earthquakes, landslides, water running. This is what when they found the gold rush, where did they find it? Where did they find most gold? In what's called alluvial gold on riverbanks that have been washed down for thousands, tens of thousands of years. That's gold. That's your relationship. Desirability. If you still, how wonderful it is to find somebody who's not only down for you, but also someone who wants you. Gold is only special because people want gold. If all of a sudden the color yellow or just wasn't in favor, or some people just got to the point where gold is just too much, then it wouldn't be desirable. But we understand throughout history, gold has been desirable. Men have gotten on ships and crossed oceans and deserts and hazardous everything for gold, for just the thought of it, for just the feeling of just one time, can I just hold it in my hand? Isn't that what you can feel about the person that you love? Can't you feel and remember that day when you held her in your arms? And again, to when I say a woman or whatever, just fill in the blank with whatever is desirable to you. If that man, that whatever he looks like, his muscles, his body, whatever, if that person is desirable to you and he desires you back, that's attribute number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Because not only do you see him as gold, he sees you as gold. Because he looks at you years later, say, baby, you still look good in that dress. Dang. You maybe some days you just go out and just remember, go back to that restaurant, go back to that movie, go sit there and just appreciate that day when you saw that person. Just said, man, I wanted you 10 years ago and even more so now. That's desirability. That's loving someone, caring for someone. The whole thing, they desire what it does, how it bends, how it shapes. And I'm not talking about in a submissive way. I'm talking about the elevation. I'm talking about that person bending and shaping to become more of who they want to be. And you look at them and go, damn, you look girl. You desire them because of what they chose to become. That's desirability. No different than gold. Gold. All those stories is what makes that such an incredible picture. That's why gold is $1,700 an ounce. When I first started in the jewelry industry, gold was $300 an ounce. $300 an ounce. Now it's $1,700 an ounce. Why? And aluminum, which you can build airplanes with, is $18 an ounce. Why? Because of the stories. And what you need to understand, it's the stories that create the value. If all of a sudden this easy button from Staples, if all of a sudden this easy button became valuable, oh my God, everybody would the price of this, which is, I don't know, $10, would go up exponentially because people value it. How? And you value it because of the story. How's that any different than you? How is that any different than the person that you love, your friend you value? And I had quite a few comments talking about the Star Trek, and you heard it in my voice. Imagine having a friend that tells you, I have been, and shall always be your friend. So value that you find in gold is the same value that you can find in yourself. And I say you have to find it in yourself because gold exists whether you know it or not. When you study gold, when you study, and we'll talk about it some of the episodes, the man that Mr. Sutter, where gold was found in the California gold rush, he died penniless. He died broke in some little single residence hotel room. He literally, he owned the land that gold was found on, and he was broke because he didn't value gold. He wanted something else, and he lost everything. How many of us do the same thing in our relationships? That person that you thought was gold, you just changed your mind. You changed your story. Or maybe they changed the story. But you have to understand, and which is the crux of this show, is understanding that it all comes from a story. And what makes what proves it is when you understand how many people on the planet Earth appreciate something like gold. It's all about an appreciation. Value is a two-way street. Anything, when I appraise jewelry, I have to look at what is it and how does it relate to the rest of the world. You have to look at your relationship. You have to look at yourself and understand, as I always say, how you interact with the light. And we'll talk more about that light. I'll show you what that light looks like, those attributes look like on the other side.
When you do nothing, nothing happens. Best time to take action is now.
This is the time to work on you and your business.
So I've created a group,
An online academy for professionals and entrepreneurs. Power Partners will help you
to start helping yourself.
Helped me change my life and my business.
Not a Toastmasters, it's not a BNI, it's not any of these, but it is. So it's all this stuff in one place.
Get the results that you deserve right now. So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen.
see you in Power Partners.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow.
Man,
Oh my God. Oh my God. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is how the universe, this is how God speaks to me. Okay. I'm telling you about the attributes of gold. I'm talking about what it means when you have that person in your life that is gold. And I'm thinking about Barbara. I'm thinking about our friendship. And people need to understand Barbara and I haven't seen Barbara in 3 years since the pandemic happened. I haven't seen Barbara in 3 years. And Barbara and I are Toastmaster friends, and our friendship, is just pure. The beauty that I see in her every time I see her. We ain't kiss, we ain't none of that. It's just, man, rarity. There's 300,000 Toastmasters on the planet. God knows how many millions of Black women in the world. And Barbara J. Beckley, that's what we said. Barbara J. Beckley is literally the one person that said, "Hey, Barry, remember that airline, that show, that thing I always tell Barbara?" Barbara's the person. I'm sitting on the runway at Charles de Gaulle Airport. "Hey, Barry, you want to do a workshop?" Well, Barbara, I'm in France right now. I'll talk to you when I get back. Okay. You know how Barbara talks. Okay. The plane, 11-hour trip. We land on the airport. We land, land at O'Hare Airport. the captain says, "Welcome to O'Hare Airport in Chicago. The temperature is, you now may turn on your phone." I turned on my phone, went through the whole thing, and next thing, the first ring, ring. It's Barbara J. Beckley. Hey, Barbara, what's up? Hey, Barry, have you thought about the workshop? I'm like, Barbara, I'm still on the plane. When she asked me to do this show, I was terrified. I was just like, man, 15 minutes. Remember, Barbara? It was 15 minutes.
Remember,
man, I can't talk for 15 about what? About what you do. Really? Every week?
Yeah.
Now this show is broadcast for all the world. So let me introduce you to my goal. To my goal. Somebody asked me, do you own a gold mine? Yep, sure do. And it was Barbara J. Beckley. There you go. So Barbara, how do you grace, what did I do to have the honor of having you on the Gem Hunter Story Show today?
Just being you, Mr. B.
Wow.
And like you were saying earlier, Barry, with gold and everything. And I love how you mentioned it doesn't have to be this love relationship with, another party. It could be a good friend that's in your life that you treasure as that gem, as you treasure as that gold. And I look at you as that because I always say you have so many friends in life. You can probably count them with your hand. I'm talking about the true gems. And I put you as one of them because, no matter what, I was thinking of the list that you were listing when you were talking about gold, about, the value and the different attributes of it. And I was thinking, I said, okay, check. Barry, check. Check. So then I was in my mind, I'm like, okay, we need to maybe we all need to have that list and do that little check off when we're talking to people and getting to know people and see, especially durability. That really, really Barry honed in on me.
Let me tell you how deep it is. How we can really break it down, right? So when you say carat, right? When you say there's carat for gold and then carat for gemstone, carat for gold, okay, K-T, carat, K-A-R-A-T, carat in gold means purity. So let's break that down. 24 karat gold is 100% gold, right? 18 karat gold is 75% gold. 14 karat gold is 58% gold, and 10 karat gold is about 43% gold. You got friends like that. You got friends like that you can value on different levels. It doesn't mean that they're bad. But you got your 18 karat, 24 karat gold friends like Barbara J. Beckley, and then you got your friends that you see every once in a while. They're down for you. They've been down for you in different periods of your life. So maybe they're 14 karat. And the same thing about feeling yourself. When I say 14 karat, 58% gold, that means the rest is filled in with something else. So you have to understand what kind of gold, first of all, that you're gold, and then what kind of gold are you? Are you that friend? Are you 24 karat gold? That Barbara, Barry, I'm sick. Can you bring me a cup of soup? When I was homeless, and I don't even want to talk about just good times. I'm talking about when I was homeless, there were so many days that I just wanted to just check out. I waited for death. Just like, you're kind of late. How long do I have to suffer? And there were people in my life that just said, you know what? Don't give up. Yeah. You know what? Here's some bread. Here's something to eat. I remember this guy. So that's how I started finally working. I used to hang out at Borders bookstore, and this man came up to me, a white man, since we all into this racial stuff. A white guy came up to me, and I seen him come in, and he just said, you know what? I don't really mean to be rude, but I just see more in you than you're here. I don't know why you're here.
Oh, Barry.
But I know that you're more. How is that any different than someone that says there's gold in their Dar Hills? I can't see it, but if I dig deep enough, I will find gold. That's what he said to me. That's what he said to me. That's what this book says. Very soon, so altered has your mind become that the workshop can no longer hold you. You got to see the gold in you. How can they do a commercial talking about the power of cheese? And you're like, wow, let me go buy some cheese. and understand the power of gold and not to understand.
Yeah.
What rarity? When I say desirability, what does that mean? How does that resonate for you, Barbara? Desirability.
Something that I don't look at it as, you know how some people be like, they kind of confuse that as lust. I'm just gonna use it. They do. Some people do. They simply do desire as you're lusting, like, oh my God. But it's just basically you want that because you believe that you are worth it, and you desire it because you believe in you and yourself, and that's what I feel. What that means more so than just, I just have, It's just like, I'm worth this. Just like you said, you have to start with you first before you get to others. Because I feel like if you miss that link with you, then everything else is going to be a little faulty in relationships. I mean, be it friend, be it boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. I feel like if you just don't really say, okay, I'm gold. I appreciate me. I love me. I think I'm 24 karat, and really believe in that. Just don't say it. Bear, we can always say words, but really believing that, I think after that, that's when everything else starts to come together, and then the desirability comes in the right way.
Because you understand the process. You and as you were saying that, I want to also say that everybody doesn't understand gold. Everybody doesn't like gold, There's some people that I go, oh God, I've had clients that, oh my God, I don't like gold jewelry. Like, okay, okay. I mean, that's fine. Find somebody who appreciates gold. Don't be mad. Lots of us grow up feeling we know we're gold, but we're waiting for someone else to give us that stamp of approval, right? Like when you look at your ring, most rings or jewelry has that stamp, 18 karat gold, 14 karat gold. So why? Because, and we'll talk about it in another show, Henry VIII devalued gold. That's what people's ex-husbands, ex-wives, ex-girlfriends, ex-bosses do. They devalued gold, but it doesn't mean that it's not gold. They just didn't appreciate it. They didn't appreciate what they had, or what they had wasn't as valuable as something else. So you have to look at all aspects of what gold is.
Yeah.
Why is gold $1,700 an ounce when it was $300 an ounce? Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just thinking a thought when you were talking that I wish, because I know this show is a wonderful. If nobody's not seen the Gem Hunter story, let me put a quick commercial. Then they're crazy. But anyway, I always look back at the list that you said, and what I really would just wish for everybody out there is to understand those attributes that you said, because I see it every day. That we're doing the total opposite when it comes to people, like you said. I mean, I have seen, and I think me and you talked about this, I bring it to you a lot. I'm like, Barry, this couple, 45 years, divorce, 50 years, divorce. I mean, and it's happening like every other day, celebrities and non-celebrities. And I'm just not talking about marriage too, I'm talking about friendship or people that work together for a while. They're done. They don't even want to talk to them no more. It's like, what is going on? What is really going on? And then you look at a gem, 1 billion years, like you said, all these years the gem's been the same way, and it's still gold.
Yeah. And it's still gold. Yeah, exactly. And that's, if we can take, and that's the crux and the hallmark. And again, I just want to say publicly, I thank Barbara on a weekly basis for giving me this platform, the Diamond Factor Experience, because I always had this inside of me. I just didn't know what to do with it. And when I would talk about gemstones and gold, I talked about it. There's a lot of horrible things that has come up from gold. And we'll talk about that. But what I wanted to talk about is, or really get people to understand, is the same attributes that I do, that I've trained to value gold. Why can't we put those same attributes on people? Yeah. Whether the color, whether it be the shape, whether it be the purity, the clarity. Look at that. We talk about, oh, I want an 18 karat gold ring. Okay, that means it's 75% pure gold. Cool. With fill, if it's white gold, that means it has a rhodium in it or palladium in it to give it that. What you mix it in with something else. That's what we are. We could be pure, but we mix up, whether it be education, whether it be experience, whether it be job, whether it be thing, all those things that we mix up to be even more rare, because 14 karat gold is 14 karat gold, 18 karat gold. But when you are 18 karat, 24 karat, 10 karat, you still have value, and you decide on what you want to put inside. Are you that 24 karat gold when you tell your girlfriend, girl, I got you? But Barbara, it's girl, I got you. There's people going through, one of our mutual friends, Luana Bradford, is going through a lot. One of my best clients who I had, Marie, has gone through so much death in her life. And yet when she thinks about Catherine, her mom died, it's like there's all this death. And the thing is, what people have to realize is that, to maybe make it a little bit easier, is that you found gold. Your mom, your relatives, your friend, your dad, that's gold. And your job is to value them while they're here. Mm-hmm. Tell them how much you love them while you're here, and understand that unlike gold, we don't last forever. So that makes the rarity even more profound.
And not to waste the time, because like you said, us as people, we don't last as long as the gold does. So that goes back to really respecting, appreciating all that. And then you waste time by, getting technical on people or saying, well, you're not like you and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, but what happened to appreciating them, the value? What happened to all that? So I'm going to ask you the question, Barry, and this was a question that came up too before I came on. What's the definition of perfection when it comes to people? I think, maybe people put people in a high standard, and soon as they do one little thing that's not in that standard, you're gone. Like, poof, be gone. Like, as
I told you last week, this is the GIA, Gemological Institute of America, gem identification. All the gemstones known to man are in this book. And what gives myself and the people who study gemology is, we understand it gives us a list of what to look for, what standards, what molecular formula, what's the density, what's the hardness. Guess what? Unfortunately, we don't have a book like this. We don't have a book like this. So you, as far as perfection, that's an excellent question. Perfection is whatever you make it is, whatever you think it is. If you love, I don't know, French food, and you find someone who can cook French food, and you realize how rare that is, oh my God, there's your gemstone. If you have a person in your life that has helped you, elevated you, shown you different things in your life and made your worldwide, that's gold. That's rare. That person is beautiful to you because what that person means, the way that person interacts with the light, that's your gemstone. So perfection is whatever you got in the book. There's a book that I have called the Barbara J. Beckley book, okay? And when I look at page 94, it says, that Barbara, and then the light, the color should be just a wonderful bronze color. Okay, I got that. The density is this, Barbara's density. Woo, yeah, Barbara, yeah, all those things. And then you decide because that's all an appraisal is. It's an opinion. That I've studied jewelry enough to be able to give an informed opinion on what the value of this is. I can't get, so all I'm asking people to do each week on this show, that's why it's a wonderful adventure. It was because each week I say, what does this mean to me? How can I relate this to me? And I know I'm doing God's work, because when I made that promise to God that if I ever got out of homelessness, I would spend the rest of my life helping people discover their value, I had no idea about gemology. None. That story that I told where that woman said, I need this, that was like, really? People act like that with gemstones? Oh, I got to find out about this. Oh, that woman, remember that story I told you, the first diamond bracelet I sold, tennis bracelet, and that woman spent the whole rest of the night looking at her arm as if it was a brand new arm. That's value. And everything that she had to do to buy that bracelet for herself and to finally wear it, that was the story that gave that bracelet at that magical moment in her life value. How can we do the same thing with not only just other people? Because who's the most important person you have to tell a story to, Barbara? Barbara's been to all my workshops. Test question. Who's the most important person you have to tell a story to? I'll wait.
Yourself. Yourself.
That's why this show is called Gem Hunter Stories, not the Gem Hunter Stories. All of us are gem hunters. All of us are trying to find that value. All of us are trying to make the connection between who we are and how we interact with the light. Rubies, sapphires, diamonds, pearls, all that. Yeah. And it's all interconnected. That's what this means. Mm-hmm. So, Barbie, go ahead. Give me one more set.
I'll let you finish one more time.
You finish it? All right, cool. Thank you for coming. So, I want you to in the next couple episodes, we'll be talking about different stories and different about gold. But I want you to get out of today, whatever you feel about yourself, you can change it. All I do this week is make that analogy, make the things that different books and everything else, make it tangible, make you understand that the same things that we value gemstones and have for thousands of years, that story can relate to you. You can change that story. And once you change that story, once you change the things that's inside of you, replace it, put something else in there, then your molecular structure, how you think, will change, and the way you interact with the light, interact with your life will change. So as always, it's been a pleasure being with you. My name is Barry B. Mixon. I am a gemological storyteller. And please take this lesson today, take all these episodes, and begin the journey of discovering the value of your own stories. Au revoir, atatella, voila.